I don't know, Pritam, if you want to introduce yourself, your role, and then, as Chris mentioned too, something fun about yourself that the community does not know about. But again, thank you so much for presenting. And this is another one of the topic. A lot of the FinOps people ask us, I have this FinOps tool, XYZ. Why should I use Stacklet or Cloud Custodian? And this, kind of talks about that story as well. And Pritam has built some of his own wrappers too that are not available in the community yet. We are working on that in the near future. But this is definitely a very unique and cool presentation as well. Pritam, if you can introduce yourself and just tell us something fun about yourself too.
Yeah, thanks, Sumit. Thanks for having me. And hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So a little bit about me. I am Pritamsingh Yaduvanshi. So a lead software engineer at FactSet. I've been working in IT for like 10 years now. And I started my career as a system engineer where I was working on processes, tools, and automations. Then I transitioned into cloud. Uh, and then I've been working with the FactSet for the last 5 years as a part of the cloud team. So here we are, what we call ourselves as a public cloud team, which primarily focuses on cloud governance and security. So our team builds workflows that enable developer acceleration on the cloud. So it helps developers deploy faster without getting lost in the nitty-gritty of the cloud setup. So this workflows could range from anything from like IC pipelines, like in-house IC pipelines, to standardized blueprints or FactSet security best practices service catalog modules. So we maintain all of these tools to help developers move to the cloud faster and safer. So that's so as a part of this team, so I had to interact with the various other teams like networking team, security team, and now I've been actively working with the FinOps team as well. So that's about my work. So what I do when I'm not working, well, I like bikes, so I go on a bike trips. Last year, last time I went to Ladakh region. It's in lower Himalaya region in India. So it passes through one of the highest mountain range, around 16,000 feet. So it's like highest mountainable roads, like drivable roads in the mountains. So yeah, that's what I do, bike trips and hikes because I like mountains. That's about me. But I think we are here to talk about governance as a code day. So in this session, we will talk about Cloud Custodian and FinOps tool and how we are building the integration here at FactSet. So I'll be sharing with you how we use governance as a code with the help of Cloud Custodian to make our cloud operations and cost optimizations both smarter and safer. So this talks brings together two important topics, the two important worlds of cloud engineers. The first is a Cloud Custodian, which enables governance and compliance automation. And on the other side, we have FinOps tools like IBM Cloudability, which drive visibility and cost efficiency. So over the next few slides, I will walk you through how we build this integration, how we scale this integration, the challenges that we have solved, and the real impact that it is having right now in our FactSet world. So let's get started. So in FactSet, we follow what we call a micro account strategy. So which essentially means one AWS account per project per environment, like dev, stage, and prod. So any team who wants to work on a project, they come and request a new account. And depending upon how many stages they want, whether they want dev, stage, and prod, that team can have those many accounts for each applications. Right. So what this does is each account has clearly defined ownership and a product level allocation. This approach also helps us with the isolation and blast radius containment. It also gives a clear accountability for products and its cost attribution, a better control over permissions and service quotas that we usually hit. So this we don't hit with this kind of approach. So this model is useful, but as more and more team builds application, you also have a lot of accounts spinning up, right? So we today have 3,000 plus AWS accounts. We have around 150 plus Azure subscriptions. And at this scale, manual governance simply doesn't work. So each team deploys independently using their own stacks, which means standards must be enforced consistently and in real time across all of these accounts. And that's where Cloud Custodian comes in. One of the main reasons we chose Custodian was its simplicity to use and the confidence that we had in it to take corrective actions. Taking corrective actions was one of the most important step, and the Custodian does that job really, really neat. And also its ability to extend the existing functionality. So we use custodian policies today to automate compliance, tagging, cleanup, and even FinOps actions now. So once we chose custodian, we needed to scale and roll it out efficiently across all accounts. So running policies separately in each account would have been complex and comes with additional overhead because we have to maintain and deploy the custodian resources in each account, and we have to also make sure that the resources are in a specific state so people don't mess it up. So we adopted a centralized custodian architecture where custodian runs from one account but can act on all member accounts through cross-account access. So here is a simplified architecture of custodian that we use today. So we have two workflows. One is an event-based workflow, which takes action in the real time, which listens to the events. Another one is a scheduled workflow, which can run on a ad hoc basis or a cron schedule basis. So we have a member accounts, all the member accounts here, and they send their events to the centralized logging account. We have a custom bus there. We have a CloudWatch rule built over there, which listens to only non-read events, like CRUD events. All those events goes to a queue for processing, which offers a buffer, and then they get processed by the event processor Lambda, which has a C7N package in it. And then this Lambda assumes a role in the member accounts and take the corrective actions based on the policy that we wrote for that particular resource. Same thing applies for the cron job. So in case if we miss any event, so cron job runs once in a day. It fetches all the policies, it orchestrates a step function, it runs a bad job, and then take a corrective actions on all the member accounts. So this gives us a single pane of control, which allows us to deploy, monitor, and update policies centrally. Along with that, we built unified logging, metrics, and dashboard. So teams can easily visualize violations, the compliance trend, and also the failures. Like if we have any failures in Lambdas or any patch job is failing, we can see it at one place. So the key outcome of this is simplified operations, faster feedback loops, and zero local overhead in each member account. So let's talk about how we extended the C7N with custom wrapper. So custodian is really powerful. It's very powerful, and it comes with a lot of inbuilt actions and filters, which meets most of the requirements. But like most open source frameworks, it is also designed for extensibility. So we decided to build our own custom wrapper around it. So this wrapper allows us to extend custodian in multiple ways. We can define our own custom resources. We can define our own custom filters. We can have our own custom actions, which are not supported by C7N today. So this allows us to seamlessly integrate even the in-house tools and also the third-party integrations like internal CMDBs or the ticketing systems or a notification stack, or even tools like Cloudability, which we're going to talk about later. So this allows us to do all of those integrations. So let's talk more about the Cloudability tool and the FinOps at FactSet. So initially we started with the governance policy. We have around 150 governance policies. So once we saw our governance foundation was solid and we had a good confidence in custodian and its ability to take actions, we started to looking at another big challenge, which is cloud waste and cost optimization, right? So with our micro account strategy and hundreds of teams, even small inefficiencies can lead to waste. We are talking about like millions of dollars in monthly billing. So AWS does provide native tools like Compute Optimizer or a TA recommendations or Cost Explorer recommendations, but there is a problem. Like the problem with those tools they are very account scope and service specific. So they don't give us the unified or a business unit level or cross account or cloud agnostic view or easy way to apply action programmatically. Cloudability, on the other hand, it gives us a consolidated multi-cloud visibility. across all the cloud provider. It also provides us with advanced financial analytics with the historical trends. And most importantly, it has API-driven insights that we can easily integrate with the custodian. So instead of just viewing the recommendations, we can now act on them automatically, converting FinOps insights into real-time actions with the help of custodian policies. So this combination of cloudability for financial intelligence and custodian for policy executions became our foundation of FinOps at scale here at FactSet. So this does saves a lot of cloud cost and also the engineering hours, which would require to chase all the engineers and different teams and owners. So in this slide, I will explain you how we integrated the cloudability tool with Cloud Custodian using a custom filter. So we wrote a custom filter, which is a Python based, and it hooks into the Cloud Custodian filtering mechanism. So it fetches cloudability recommendations via their API and maps it against existing resources, which are returned from the custodian policies during runtime. And it works with multiple CSP, all the CSP that are supported by Cloudability today. This filter supports all of them. And it also accepts some dynamic parameters to get the precise recommendations based on each service. So for example, this is how that filter looks like. So it's called query Cloudability, and it accepts few parameters. So I provide some URL endpoint. These are the URL endpoints, which are endpoints from Cloudability. So if you want to get the recommendations for EC2 service from AWS, so this is the endpoint, and we have like multiple of them. Like if you go to the Cloudability official docs, you have like I think 5 to 6 cloud providers, and each provider have around 6 to 7 services. So like 30 endpoints, and you can build policy around all of them using this single filter. So we provides a URL endpoint, and we provide some additional filters there. Like we want to find resources which are like 100% idle, and the recommended actions from Cloudability is terminate. So what this filter does is we add this filter in the custodian policy. It goes to the Cloudability API endpoint, get the all recommendations, and then compare those resources against the resources written by the custodian policy. And if those are present, then it goes ahead and takes action on them, whatever the action that we define in the policy. So this is how it looks in a real time. So based on what we discussed in the previous slide, this shows how the FinOps insights are converted into actual policies. So on the left side, we have a Cloudability dashboard showing the recommendations. And on the right side, we have a corresponding cloud custodian policies enforcing these insights into like real actions. So if you see here, we have different cloud providers. So in this case, we have AWS, we have RDS as a service, and then we're passing some filters. We want to see the idle resources with the action terminate, and then it gives some potential instances. So this converted into our custom filter, like the same way that I described last slide. So this will return me all this potential saving, and then what will I do is here with the help of action is I will tag them with the custodian mark for operation. So we don't take action on the resources right away. We take a multi-step approach. We tag them first for a few days. Then there is a second policy which will send notification to the owners. We send notification to the owners at the time of tagging. Then we send notifications before taking actual actions, like 1 day before, 2 days before. And then on the day of action, we go ahead and take a specified action, whether it's a stop action or there's a terminate actions based on the policy. So here's another example of how for the S3, again, this is S3 endpoint, and we are passing some filter where we're looking for potential saving of more than $30. So the good thing about this filter is you can play around with this API filters. You can add resource names, you can add prefixes. And so any filters which is supported by Cloudability, you can just add all of these filters right here. Some more policy examples. So we are having multiple policies, but I just added a few of them here. So for each resource view, we have a respective Cloudability endpoint. and we are passing some filters for each policies. So for example, in the EBS resource, right, we want to find out all the idle ABS volumes which are lying in the account. So we are passing this idle 100 filters, the action as terminate, and then we are passing some extra additional filters, like we don't want to touch the attached volume. We only want to take actions on unattached volumes. And like we don't want to like previous volumes to have a specific name in them, because dynamic PVC is used by Kubernetes. So we can pass things like this in the filter. So similarly, we have for the resource as well, for Azure as well, we have a policy called compute VMs. Same, we're looking for any idle resources. So this is a like ongoing process, as the like whenever the FinOps team decides that we want to take action on some resources based on their recommendations, we just go ahead and just add extra policies, and then custodian automatically start taking actions on them. It's very easy. So what this does, like what custodian doing in FactSet and how it impacting today. So we have more than 150 governance policies. So when we started with the custodian, at that time, the CIS benchmark score was very low. But today we have a CIS benchmark score of more than 80%. And thanks to Cloud Custodian, most of the corrective actions are taken by custodian. We also have more than 15 FinOps policies, which we run for all these idle resources and right size recommendations. So when we roll out this cost optimization policy, initially we had a huge saving, and now we have a continuous monthly savings. Like it's continuous process. We have savings every month. Custodian capturing around 500,000 violations per day. So these are not necessarily a security violation. This could be operational violation as well, but we still want to catch them, log them somewhere. They may not be, we may not have to take actions on all of them, but we still have to log them somewhere for the operational visibility. And custodian today, it's taking actions on around 25,000 resources per month in real time. So that's really helpful. So all of these automated workflows that we have built with custodian and all other the integration, the custom filters, the custom actions, it's really saving a lot of cost, and also hundreds of engineer hours. So that's it from my side. I can take questions.
Great, thank you so much. And I hope everybody liked it too. Like